wives that have been nagging their husbands to do things in a certain way are like, oh, I understand now. I understand why they are like that. Yeah. And so for me, human design isn't about changing another person. It's about deeply understanding self first to understand another so that we create harmony in different dynamics.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 5 human designs.
5 human design energy types.
Energy types. Okay, so let's get into those.
So manifestors, you're 9% of the population. Quite a rare unicorn, not as rare as reflectors, but this is where the system starts. And so manifestors, what they're designed to do in the system is to have these amazing ideas and then inform people around them about what they're doing, because they're lightning fast beings. When you come across a manifestor, they're lightning fast beings and they're going to repel people out of their way to go from point A to point B, get their manifestations done and move everything out of the way.
I bet we know some people like that already in the world that just come to top of mind.
I'm trying to think of a celebrity right now and cannot think of another celebrity that's a manifestor, but it's generally quite a rulership energy. So they're very powerful people and they really are here to guide and lead. And so if you think of, let's just say that we're creating a play. So we've got the manifestor, that is the playwright. We'll have the projectors that would be directing everyone. The generators and the manifesting generators, we'll get into all the types, but the generators and the manifesting generators would be the actors, the lights, the cameras, the working parts. And then the reflectors would be the audience reflecting back what they thought of the play and the health of the play. Because the reflectors, you are here to do such a very specific role. And I love how your podcast is so... It's such an embodiment of who you are and what you're here to do as a reflector.
And it's funny, Kylie, because a lot of people have been saying to me lately, they're like, can you please add on more solo episodes? Because they're listening to what. And so I've actually taken the podcast more down a solo route. And then I've been really, really careful about who the guests are. Mm. Like more so than I ever was before. Before it was like, I need to get a guest on. Now it's like there's just so much thought. Like if you were a guest now on my podcast, I've really thought about it. And I've been like, people need to hear this. I'm going with intuition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's exactly what you're here to do. So you're living so well in alignment. I think you're such an expander for anybody that could be a reflector or wanting to understand a reflector living in their highest embodiment of their design. So Yvonne is your girl.
Yeah.
Cool. So manifestors are the playwrights. They come up with the idea and they don't necessarily have the sustained energy to be able to see their projects through. So they need all of the other types to be activated by their informing. So when they have that idea, they're going to be going, hey guys, let's just say it's a podcast. I've got this idea to start a podcast, and that's going to give the generators and the manifesting generators what we call our strategy to follow, which is to respond. And so when a manifestor is going, hey guys, I'm going to start a podcast. They're not asking for permission. They're not asking if it's a good idea. They just know it's the right thing for them to do. And they go into informing and initiating that. And that's when generators are like, oh, I want to help. I actually know how to edit videos and I know how to edit sound. And that's how the generators and the manifesting generators would be in the world. So that goes into the next 2 types, which is generators and manifesting generators. And I kind of like to talk about them together in the traditional human design. So there's a couple of different iterations of human design if we get into the semantics of it. Traditionally, there are 4 types because manifesting generators and generators were grouped as one. I still like seeing them as 2 different types because they have such different parts to play in the system. And so a generator is somebody that really, and I'm a generator, so it's somebody that really likes to follow a process. They really like to master what they're doing. They really are here to gain so much energy by work that they love doing. And you're responding to life. So you talk a lot about signs in the universe, and a generator gets to respond to the signs of the universe and really use that as information. Because another thing that human design teaches us is that you never make decisions from the mind, which is not what society tells us to do. You make it from your body. You talk a lot about gut instincts. You talk a lot about your intuition. Well, where does that live? It lives in your body. And so a generator needs to be very connected to their body because it all starts with their sacral. And so generators, when they were growing up, if they had a really good meal, they'd probably be going, and I still do it. I talk with my sounds. And if somebody asked me a question like, that is your body talking.
Did you have, when you're a generator, did you feel more connected than when you were pregnant?
Surprisingly, I lost a lot of my intuition and connection because I wasn't as connected.
But do you think that's because you had a different human design in your body?
Totally. And their design, and yeah, I was very disconnected, and and this is another conversation for a whole different podcast, but because I just immigrated, there was a lot of change going on in my life, and because I felt so disconnected from my body, which is your sacral region as a generator, which is your womb space, I had a really challenging first birth. And that was really interesting.
And do you think other designs, this is kind of going off topic a little bit, but other designs, when they are pregnant, does it impact them?
Absolutely.
Or becoming? Okay.
Absolutely.
And when you had your kids, were you like, oh, what time are they born? I'm doing their chart.
Literally, I was pulling charts because Liam, I was in labor with him for 36 hours. And I was pulling charts, and it was so interesting. And this is why I truly believe that you will always choose your chart, because a lot of moms will come to me and be like, I regret choosing to have an elective C-section because a baby then didn't choose their time. A baby will choose how they enter the world, always. And so I was pulling out different charts for Liam to see my work in practice and in motion. And there was a half an hour period in which he was going to be a generator. And he came in that half an hour period. Otherwise, he would have been a completely different type. And this is why I truly believe, and it ended up in an emergency C-section. And that's why I truly believe that you choose your astrology. And so we always talk about like fixed fate versus flexible fate when it comes to manifestation. Your fixed fate are your astrological markers, your human design charts. Your flexible fate is what you choose to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's where manifestation comes into the conversation of you get to co-create whatever it is that you want.
So he's the same as you then?
Yes.
So he's the same as you.
My husband's also a generator. And then my second born is a projector. So completely different. And he actually ended up being a planned section the day before. And again, the way his birth came into being, which was all led by human design. It was the moment that I realized how much human design had impacted my life and the decision that I'd made to have him as a C-section baby. And again, I didn't know what time it was going to happen, pulled the different charts, and he chose a very specific time. He's a very rare type of projector, and I can already see why he chose that. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think as well, when you become a mom, like the point at which I was just like, manifestation, just now I have zero doubts. Like I absolutely know that there is anything is possible when you believe, was when the twins were born on Christmas Eve.
Absolutely.
And I was just like, oh my God, I literally said this. So like for you, it's on the human design side. And for me, it's on the manifestation side, but it could be the human design reflector side, but we're getting to the same place. Exactly. As in like, we're realizing almost through motherhood that like, this totally makes sense.